Hello and happiness again from the carpenter's office. Today we're going to look at some work boots. Not going to have a whole lot of philosophy for you, but we're going to talk about a whole lot of tough work boots here made by Wesco. These may be the best work boots that money can buy. It's up to your opinion. I'll tell you what I know. As far as the work Wescos go, you've seen some of these before. I think only one of these pairs you haven't seen before, and this is what kind of inspired me to do this video, because I got the Firestormers, which are got them used from probably a fireman, and was just kind of noticing the little nuances and differences of these Wesco boots, and so I wanted to talk to you again about them. I think you mentioned one of my guys. I bought him. He's doing really well, and I gifted him a pair of Wesco steel toe 10-inch work boots, and he just loves them. And in my opinion, I told him these are the best work boots money can buy, and you earned them, and here they are. Here's a pair of 8-inch Wescos. Okay, we wear steel toe, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about pricing and things about that in a minute. The steel toe Wesco, okay, is like the plain toe. It's not a lace to toe. It's not a semi-lace to toe. And as you'll notice on these Wescos, this is a regular Job Master, okay? It's a custom Job Master, actually. I think it's the stitching and the steel toe, someone ordered it. I got it in IB, new inbox. Doesn't have a lot of wear on it. These are like my backup to my backup to my backup to my backup work boots. Someday when I'm a very old guy, I'll be sporting these. The problem that I have with steel toes, okay, let's just go ahead and talk about the money thing, is all these boots are over 500 bucks, 533, 531, I don't know, something like that. And so you're going to drop 500 something bucks on a pair of work boots. I've had this discussion many times with guys in the trades. You go to Walmart, I don't know, you pay 100 bucks, 99 bucks, or something like that for these different ones, these Herman Survivor boots, which aren't like the old Hermans like you see me talk about and review. These are the newer ones. I think Walmart might have bought them. They got something called Brahma. These things are going to mess up your feet. They're going to go away after 2 or 3 months. They're going to come delaminated. And if you want to buy 2 or 3 pairs of those a year at 100 bucks or whatever they are, or less than 100 bucks, maybe you're going to spend 200 bucks for 3 pairs in a year. You buy a pair like this, I think you might have them for a couple years until you got a resole, maybe a year and a half. Year and a half is what I was doing with my Red Wing Super Soles. So if you got a resole them, you're going to pay 100 and something bucks too. My Red Wing Super Soles, which is a cup sole, okay, it's just a glued on sole, pressed on sole. They're like $239 for the Red Wing 2233s, the 8-inch. And now the resoles could be 100 and something, 130, 150 bucks. So by the time you get 2 resoles, you may be, I don't know, 3 or 4 years down the road, and you're into it for about the price of these. Okay, so I recommend these, and these may be the best type of work boots money can buy. Wesco does such a great job. I know there's a little bit of controversy with their Heritage line now, the time that it's making them to kick out MTOs, and even some of their stock boots that they may not have different sizes in stock takes them several months now to get those out. And there's a little bit of controversy about guys saying, oh, well, it's all the Heritage guys or the boot collector guys that aren't really wearing them for work, which is making them hard for us to get. True, but a lot of handmade things, and the other side of the argument is there's a lot of handmade things, a lot of these companies just going belly up. And so maybe these, I don't really think there's any hipsters. Guys keep calling people hipsters. I don't see any of those kind of hipster guys around anymore here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I work or live or am around. But, those type of guys that are wearing them for a particular fashion. Sorry. No coughing. Wearing them for a particular fashion. They may be keeping these companies alive and pumping money into these and getting different styles. And so let's not slam the more style guys or fashion guys that are buying them. If my point is, what I was getting at is, if you are wearing a pair of Wescos and you're not dragging them around on the concrete like I do, I think they're definitely worth the money. So the problem that I have is we do heavy work. We're on our knees all the time. I wear knee pads. I put them on in the morning. Either they're the slip-in ones, the foam ones that slip up into my Carhartts or my double fronts, or they're like the little girl volleyball size. And Bike is the brand I wear usually in extra large, and they're under my jeans or under my overalls. But we're on our knees a lot, and so we just keep dragging the toe. So within a year or something, I've worn through a hole on the toe, and I used to take them to my cobbler and they'd kind of dip them in a shoe goo. I've seen those little kind of plates or plastic bumpers guys glue on there, but they dip them in the shoe goo, and then they last a while. I've had a pair of Red Wing 2233s resoled and re-shoe gooed 2 or 3 times before they're done, and I really don't want to do that to a $500 pair of boots. But if you're in the trades, or you're doing more like a warehouse type of job or an office job where you can wear them and not do that, that's great. Because I mean, my problem is when I sit down, sometimes if I can't take it on my knees or I'm down there too long, I'll sit with kind of my leg under me, and so I get a bunch of rubbing right here, and I've worn out threads on boots right on the side right there. When I come up, I have a big white mark from the concrete there. Of course, my toe is rubbed. So if you're doing that kind of heavy work where you're wearing boots out fast, I know maybe the comfort and the durability and the safety of them, definitely worth it for any kind of job. But if you don't want to wear out a pair of $500 boots in less than 2 years and have to buy another one, my recommendation is to get them on the used market. And you can get them for if you see a pair of Wesco Job Masters for $300 or less, and they're in good shape, 3/4 of the way or less worn, snap them up and wear them for work, and maybe you can keep them, get them resold. Maybe they're lifetime work boots for you. Okay, so what I wanted to show you, long story long about that, what I want to show you about these is, okay, you have, like we talked about in our last video, the vamp coming back up over the quarter, the top part here, or the quarter or the upper part of the boot being sewed with the vamp tucked under. Okay, the regular toe Job Master has the vamp, or the quarter over the vamp, and so you can get the steel toe. I don't think they'll give you the steel toe unless you get the regular toe. So that's what these are. Those are steel toe. Look at that. The mini lug, Vibram mini lug, stacked heel. Beautiful. Just a gorgeous boot there. That Wesco Job Master. That is an amazing boot. The next ones we're going to talk about is also Job Masters, okay? And we're going to talk about some of the nuances. I know if you buy a lot of the Franks, Nicks, Whites, Wesco, JKs maybe, or Drews. I don't have JKs or Drews. But guys ask questions online too. What are these little variations? Is it all the same? No, there's a few different lasts for some of these companies that we talk about. I'm not big into knowing the nuances of the last. I know what fits my foot. But some of these boots are the same boot with just kind of accessorized or changed up, customized a little bit differently on the same variation of boot. So these are also Wesco Job Master. Wesco Job Master lace to toe. Okay, when it's a lace to toe, you have the linesman style on the side, both sides. So it's coming up over. So when you're doing rubbing here on the inside of a pole, you're doing rubbing. It's not catching so much. The catch is going that way and not going the other way. So that's the style. I love that style. With the Gold Rush boot that I designed is like this. It's like an 8-inch. It's kind of like this, more of a bump toe, more of a bigger bump toe. The last that I designed for that, the Gold Rush boot by Fortis Boots of Indonesia. Tech with Bootlosophy, one of the great boot reviewers online, one of the great YouTube channels. He just did a video on reviewing the Gold Rush boots and kind of an update on his Gold Rush boots. It's a great video, amazing. That guy tell me more about the boot that I designed than I know about it. He's so good. But this is the style that I like right here. I put that on the Gold Rush boot as well. So, but Wesco, they have a lace to toe, a semi-laced toe, and then the regular plain toe. So the plain toe, I'm counting, you know, there's speed hooks up here, and then they have a top eyelet. I like having the top eyelet instead of the speed hook, okay? Because then you can tie it off up there. So what I do, when I go up, I go across all the speed hooks, then I wrap them together. I crank them tight. I flip them around each other just like you're going to tie in before you tie a knot. And then I go through the top holes, and then I do that again, and then I tie the bow. So that really locks it in up top, so you're not able to pull these out so much out of the speed hooks. When I'm working, I don't even use the top hole. I do the speed hooks, I do it tight, I do it fast, and that's all I do. But for what I like it with eyelets, speed hooks, one top hole. That's what I prefer. Okay, so if we count the eyelets on the bottom, regular toe, 1, 2, 3, 4 eyelets right there, okay? If we count them on the laced toe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyelets. I mean, that's the eyelets are really, the truth is in the telling of the eyelets there. So the 2 more eyelets than this go down to right here. So that's what's happening there. If you get the semi-laced toe, it looks like this design, but there's just 1 less eyelet. So it's probably going up to about right there. So the thing that amazed me, and the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and what inspired this video, okay, these are the Jobmaster with the Vibram 100 lug sole. Okay, you see everything stitched all the way through the sole, the stitching. By the way, guys, if this sole stitches wear out, don't freak out. People ask about that. These are like little nails going through. There's glue, there's nails, it's sewn, sometimes there's screws, and when these strings wear off, it's fine. That's what needs to happen. That's what naturally happens. These are a stitched down construction on the front. If you can see, all of these Wescos are stitched down right there. You can see where it starts curved over. It's just this same vamp, just flipped over and sewn around the front of the boot. Stitched down construction. But what inspired me is when I got these Firestormers, and these ones I got the other day, and I fixed them up. Okay, I'm like, these are just like my 10-inch Jobmasters. I mean, exactly. One's black and this is the redwood, of course, redwood color. But I was like, well, what is this, a Firestormer? So I started researching it, looking it up. Okay, what makes the Firestormer different? Okay, these are all work boots. Heavy construction steel toe, maybe a lighter construction or more like a logger guy. Jobmaster, a little bit higher, lace to toe, grabs your foot in a different way and better. Okay, so now the Firestormer, Jobmaster Firestormer, which looks exactly like that red one. Okay, just different kiltie. Okay, we're going to talk about kilties in a second too. Okay, what is the difference? It's got you'll see the red cross on there, the Vibram 100F, which I guess is for fire. What it has, the 3 rows of stitching here, okay, is fire resistant, and then the stitching, which you can't see it so much, it's black stitching on this one. The stitches all the way through the sole. You can see the little fuzzy ends of them right there. That's Kevlar. Supposed to be Kevlar. Fire resistant stitching, Kevlar stitching. I reckon Kevlar is fire resistant too. I don't know. And the 100F with the red cross. No cross. Some of them are white crosses on some of the boots. I don't know the difference. I think it's the same thing. So basically, this is a 10-inch lace-to-toe Jobmaster with a fire-resistant sole and fire-resistant thread on some of the boot. That's the difference right there. Talking about the kilties, we got different styles of kilties here. The one thing, I highly recommend these. The one thing I don't like about the Wescos is the kilties that they send. These are all laced in here pretty tight, okay? But the kilties on a Wesco are barely, these are the stock kilties here, they are barely wider than the lace area when you lace your shoe together. I mean, they're just barely tucked under there. And when I'm doing my speed hooks, I have to actually push it with my finger so it pops underneath. Now, I got these from Nick's. These are a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's the bottom. I like that, not the no-show. Okay, so they have big, huge, fringy looking ones, and kilties. They have more smaller looking fringe, kilty, or a what's the other word people use for it? I forget. I'll remember it in a second. Okay, this one's from NYX. So see this one, the Wesco ones are like this narrow, maybe a little bit less, and narrow all the way up on the kilties. Okay, they're not bulbous like that. They just go from there and they stay narrow all the way up, like 1.5 inches. This one's a little bit, look like 2.5 inches. Okay, those are from NYX. Those are a little bit better. NYX has a good price on them. What I get and what I use only and specifically now is from, used to be called on YouTube, or I mean in Instagram, Aero Surfer LV. Now he's Dale Leatherworks on all of the social medias. Dale and Bassista, and with Dale's Leatherworks, he makes them look at that. Okay, so this is where the holes are. You see the hole, there's the holes. Okay, that's the, down at the toe. I like them like that. I like them just rounded a little bit. So look at he's even more bulbous and bigger by, it looks like 3/8 on each side down here than even the NYX ones. And what I like about that, okay, what I like about Dale's design and what Dale's selling you is that it goes up under the laces and the eyelets. If you notice on a lot of eyelets, what they do, some of the boots, I know the Red Wings are this way, that it's just like crimped. It's like a little star on the inside. Excuse me. They start digging in to the tongue. They make little impressions in the tongue. They start making little tears in the tongue. I've seen it actually wear through the tongue. But the kilties they'll protect it, and these even more so. And these give like a more, the way that these wrap around, okay, they give like, it feels like it's giving you more comfort and more protection from just when you're lacing it down. Kind of, a lot of guys say when they get a new pair of boots, they got boot bite, and it's usually right in the instep. It's usually right here on the top of your foot. And so what I find out with kilties is that they kind of reduce that a little bit. If your boot is a little bit loose, you can wear thicker socks, put kilties, it'll tighten it up. And this will overall, maybe you got skinny little legs or something too. This will, overall, in the top of the boot, this will make it fit a little bit better. So it'll snug your boot up a little bit. These will protect your eyelets from digging into your tongue. And I just like the way they look too, especially if you go, multicolored. Like I got black ones on that one, and then on these I got maroon. These are both from Dale's. I got maroon ones on those, maroon paracord laces and maroon false tongues. Sorry, there's the other word that they use for it. So yeah, the Wesco ones are too skinny. I don't like them. The NYX ones are pretty good, a little bit better. Sorry. Dale's Leatherworks are the best. So that's my opinion on kilties. Now we're going to move on to what are called the highliners. Let me make sure I got everything. I got my notes over here. Okay, I got highliners on this side. Okay, so these are highliners. Two Job Masters you're looking at right here. Regular toe, full lace to toe. There's one in between, which is a semi-lace to toe. Firestormer, which is a Job Master with the necessary fire-resistant items. Okay, and then we have the highliner. Okay, the highliner is for linesmen, and I am not a climber. I've climbed many things. I've top of 32-foot. I've been on a 40-foot ladder, stuff like that. But I don't climb poles, and I have been up poles a little bit. Used to do some work for a school district, and started climbing up one of those lights at the stadium. And they have those big pegs or big bolts on it. Man, you start getting up even about 40 feet on one of those things, and they sway a little bit. And those are giant, heavy metal poles. And it's just weird, and it's just scary. So the linesman guys, you're the man. That's something you got to get used to, I guess, or else you're just naturally agile and have no fear of heights. I don't have a fear of heights. I have a weird feeling when I get on something high like the edge of the Grand Canyon or the edge of a building. I have the feeling like I want to jump off. And fly or something. I don't know. I'm a weird dude. That's the fear I have of heights. But it just feels weird when you're climbing. So kudos to those climber guys. But I enjoy their boots, and I'm a boot collector. And actually, I work in a pair of Highliners. This is my backup right here when my Red Wings get real wet, or when I don't want to wear them, or they're bothering me, or I'm kind of in between a pair. If I get a new pair of Red Wings and they're not broken in, they're hurting my feet. These are sitting right there where I put on my shoes every day, and if I want to, I just put on these Wesco Highliners. Okay, I got them in the 10-inch here, and you've seen these also when I got these in the 16-inch. Okay, so Highliners have something called a breastplate. Okay, and so that's this metal. You can see it shining right there. There's a metal piece right there. When they're climbing, it protects that heel stack. And then they have something called a side plate. Now, this is a side plate. That's for rubbing on that pole and the hooks. I take mine off. They have, I don't know if you can see that. That's so small. But they have some nail holes there. You can see those. I just pull the nails out. And it didn't really damage the boot. There's a couple little holes there you can see. But both of these pairs had these side plates. And I just pulled them off. You can put them back on if you want with a couple of nails. They just go underneath, and then they just grab the top of the welt right there. So that's what the Highliners come with. Side plates and breastplates back here inside the heel. Now, the 16-inch is a lace to toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyes. Okay. The 10-inch that I have, these are, look, the threads are all grungy and everything. These are regular toe. These only have 4 eyes. Also, they both have the actual linesman patch. And on the Wescos, they lace through. Can you see that there? This section right here. And then it laces through actually 3 of the eyelets there. So that's on the inside for climbing. So this is almost like tripled right here. It's got the patch. It's got the vamp going up over the upper, and it's got the upper stitched down under the vamp. So those are really, really heavy for those guys rubbing up and down the poles when they climb up and down. I got these, and they have a logo on it, and I don't know. They have the old Wesco logo on there, and then they say Hall's Safety. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Hall's Safety. It even has their phone number on here. And a guy looks like climbing a telephone pole or power pole. I don't think you can see that logo there. These are steel toe, and that's why these are my backup work boots. So, and that is also why they are the style, the vamp in the upper of the those, you can see it. It's accentuated because of the different color lacing, but that's the same style as my Job Masters. And but it has everything else to the breastplate, the side plate, the linesman patch there, as the Highliners do. And these are such beautiful boots. I wore these to the Renaissance Fair. They're really cool. Sorry guys, I know you work guys are going, what is he doing? I love collecting boots. And I love the linesman style boots. Hall's Boots, founded in 1947. It's in Pennsylvania, run by the 4th generation of these folks. And what they do is they sell safety equipment for linesmen. So it's not just boots, but here's a plug for Hall's Boots. I went on their site because I was looking for these. You can't find these on Wesco like this, the steel toe linesman. And I know that you could build them. They'll build any variation of these things if you wait. But these specifically, these are out of stock right now, but these specifically are on Hall's site. If you just look up Hall's Boots or Hall's Safety, I Googled Hall's Safety and it popped up. And they got some nice boots on there also. They got some boots. I couldn't find out who made them that are their own boots, Hall's Boots. And if you're like a 8.5 or smaller right now, you can go in there. They're not steel toe, but get some cool looking linesman boots for $80, $100 right now on Hall's site. They have other boots. on there if you like the linesman style, or you are a linesman, that are cheaper than the Wescos. I don't know who makes them. I'm sure they're probably not quite as good as the Wescos, but they look really cool, and they got them in red color. They got every different Wesco too. If you're having a problem with Wesco because of all the so-called fashion hipster guys, whatever, clogging up the line and the queue over there waiting, go on Hall's site because they have Wesco climber boots in stock. And because I just went on there, tried to pick out my size and everything in some of the boots, and it was no problem. So they can come pretty fast. I think I waited for my son's Job Masters like 4 months or something, like 4 or 5 months, and they kept pushing the date back a little bit. Not too bad, but it was going to be I ordered a couple of months early for the Christmas. No. Okay, January is his birthday. No. Okay, then it came like 2 months later. It came in March or something. I ordered it in October. So, but if you look on Halls, that's a good site. I sign up for their emails so I can get their specials and stuff because they got some really nice looking boots. And if you're not a climber and you're just into that style, get them. I think that's all that I have for you today. Let me look at my notes. That is it. As usual, peace and love. And it's springtime here in California. It's getting a little bit warmer. It's not bad yet as far as the heat goes here in the central area of California. Yeah, Tech. It's Central California, Northern or Central California, where we're based out of, and close to the San Francisco Bay Area. So it's springtime here. Things are growing. People are happy getting outside. I see kids are playing outside a lot. I'm so happy when I see kids playing outside. So please be careful. Be conscious of everything that you do. You have a question to join my group. Do you put others first? People don't know how to answer that question. Yes or no, or sometimes maybe no. Only myself. They think it's a trick question. Do you put others first? Do you just consider that everything that you do, every action that you do, impacts somebody or something? Do you think about what you do? You just blindly go through life, consuming, using, being selfish, only caring about yourself? Or do you think about, I'm not talking about being so slow and contemplative that you can get nothing done. I'm not talking about that kind of weirdness and paranoia. I'm talking about your actions, what you do, how it affects other people. I'm not going to do this, even though it's not morally wrong, because it might adversely or negatively affect somebody else's life. Or even when I'm parking. You know, when I'm parking place, I'm thinking about other people in the parking lot. I don't need to be selfish. So just think about what you do. Love yourself. And if you really want to love yourself, start by loving everybody else. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to be around people you don't like. But love others, love yourself, and love me some Wesco boots. These may be the best work boots that you can get. Happiness and Wesco boots.